What are the metacognitive variables? They're based on the work of William Sedlacek at the University of Maryland in the late 1980s. Then he referred to them as the non-cognitive variables, but they were later changed to the metacognitive variables. He researched non-traditional college students, and he noted that 8 common factors in successful students. So why metacognitive variables? As a big picture learning school, we don't assign grades, so we're always looking for new ways to assess ourselves. Individualized curriculum is at odds with standardized tests, so this is proven to be equal to or more accurate than the SATs. We looked for ways for students to evaluate themselves and prepare for post-secondary life, and this is one of the steps to get there. The metacognitive variables are being used by many schools in the Big Picture Learning Network, so we're not alone in this. How do we use metacognitive variables? At Big Picture South Burlington, each 10th grade student completes the Gateway exhibition, which you're watching right now, which is a graduation requirement. Gateway addresses our personal development learning domain. One way students show personal growth and self-reflection is by demonstrating they understand and strive to incorporate the metacognitive variables into their lives. The way I interpret this variable is that you can't have a huge goal. You need to section it off into smaller goals to reach the final goal. So it's how you get to your final product. So my example of this is the Cuban board game. So in a project plan, you have your weekly goals and your weekly evidence that you start out with when you're writing this. So before you even begin the project, each week is set up. And you don't always follow this because things change in projects, but this is a good outline and things to follow. So my example is goals for week 7, but it was actually week 8. We're a week behind. So for week 7, it says that we're going to have a video of a playtest, written critique of playtests, and first draft of informer cards. And so in my journal for week 8, it has all the goals written down, and also just other work I had to do that week. So we could finish the Cuban board game. This is a really important step to reaching the end of it. So that's my example of this variable. As a group, we talked about what makes a strong support person. So one of the things we came up with were having someone in your life who can support you in certain situations. Another was someone who pushes you and tries to make you the best person you can be, knows who you are, your strengths and weaknesses, and wants to better you. And they're not always a comfort person. So a friend is sometimes not always the best support person because they may support you no matter what instead of pushing you to be a better person. So my support person this year has been Jim, we've got to know this year, and he knows our strengths and he knows our weaknesses, and because I journal all the time and I write what's wrong this week and what's good this week and things I need to work on, and he can help me push to get there, and so I consider him one of my strong support people. A reason you need a strong support person is because you can't always assess yourself or look at a situation that's happening to you and be able to figure out what needs to happen. Sometimes you need an outside view, and it's good to have someone that you trust, that you know is going to help you and only has your best interest in mind. So whenever you need advice on, if it's a teacher and you're having trouble with school, then you have that one teacher that you trust, and that really helps you, because if you don't have a teacher as a strong support person, and you're having trouble with school, you may fall behind or have trouble or not want to go to school even. So it's really important to be able to have an anchor. A parent's also a really good anchor. My mom is one of my support people, so I can go to her whenever I have a problem, and I know that she's going to drive me in the right direction.